Madrid, the latest on the NATO summit in Madrid. Russian President Vladimir Putin is warning Finland and Sweden that if they welcome NATO troops and military infrastructure onto their territory, Russia will respond in kind. He said Wednesday that Russia will have to create the same threats for the territory from which threats against us are created. The two formerly non-aligned Baltic countries were formally invited Wednesday to join the Western military alliance. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says the war in Ukraine has brought the biggest overhaul of our collective defense since the end of the Cold War. NATO calls Russia its most significant and direct threat, Biden, NATO to beef up force posture amid Russian aggression. Explainer: how was Turkey's veto of Nordic NATO bid avoided? Macron says Russia can't win in Ukraine. The AP interview: Spanish PM says NATO summit to show unityNATO country. Wednesday's dinner, prepared by Spanish-US chef José Andrés, was preceded by a live performance by the Kyiv Symphony Orchestra, which has been in exile because of the war. U.S. President Joe Biden attended the event with his two granddaughters. The mayor of the Ukrainian city of Kyiv Vitali Klitschko and his brother, Wladimir, were also there. The group posed for a family photograph on either side of Diego Velazquez's last Meninas, the museum's crown jewel, before sitting down to eat in the Jerónimo's Cloister annex. The menu included a dessert of strawberries from the Spanish city of Cuenca dressed in anise, violet caramel, and with a typical Madrid barquillo finger wafer biscuit. The starting course included cod with orange and beetroot along with a lobster-based cold soup with a fragrance of Spanish olive oil and basil. The main course was to be slow-roasted lamb with lemon puree. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is expressing optimism that humanitarian corridors could be opened to enable the export of Ukrainian grain to the rest of the world amid Russia's war. Tens of millions of people across the world are at risk of hunger as the 4-month war has disrupted shipments of grain from Ukraine. Speaking during a meeting with President Joe Biden on the margins of the NATO summit, Erdogan said, "We are trying to solve the process with balancing policy. Our hope is that this balanced policy will lead to results and allow us possibility to get grain to countries that are facing shortages right now through a corridor as soon as possible." Turkey has played a central role in negotiations with Russia and Ukraine to try to reach an agreement that would allow for an increase of the amount of grain that can get out of Ukraine amid the conflict.